The modern world treats money like a finish line. Earn more, spend more, display more. But Aristotle would look at our lives and ask a different question. What kind of person is your wealth creating? That question disturbed me, because it forced me to examine not just how I earned money, but how money shaped my behavior. Let me ask you something uncomfortable. If someone studied your financial habits closely, what would they learn about your character? Would they see discipline, patience, long-term thinking, or would they see impulse, comparison, and emotional reaction? Aristotle believed virtue exists in the golden mean, not excess, not deprivation, balance. Courage lies between cowardice and recklessness. Generosity lies between stinginess and waste. Financial wisdom follows the same law. Between greed and carelessness lies stewardship. And stewardship is where arete lives. So I began with Aristotle's first principle. Money is a tool, not a purpose. It sounds obvious, but look carefully at the modern world. Many people organize their entire identity around financial outcomes. Their status, their worth, their confidence, all tied to income. Aristotle would see this as dangerous, because tools are meant to serve the craftsman. If the craftsman begins serving the tool, the order is reversed. Tell me honestly, do you control your money? Or does your money control your choices? If losing a certain lifestyle would destroy your sense of identity, then wealth has become your master. Aristotle warned against this, because true freedom requires internal stability. Without that, every fluctuation becomes emotional chaos. The second principle Aristotle would apply to money is purpose. Every action, he believed, must aim at a higher good. The Greeks called this telos, the ultimate aim. So I asked myself a question I had never seriously asked before. Why do I want money? Not the surface answer, security, freedom, comfort, but the deeper answer, what kind of life does wealth allow me to live? Aristotle believed wealth should support a life of virtue, learning, contribution, meaningful work, strong relationships, but when wealth becomes detached from purpose, it begins to erode character. Look around today. Luxury without discipline, consumption without gratitude, comfort without effort. Aristotle would see this as imbalance, and imbalance leads to erosion. Let me ask you a question. If your income doubled tomorrow, how would your life actually change? Would you build something meaningful? Or would you simply upgrade your comforts? Your answer reveals your current relationship with wealth. The third principle Aristotle applied to everything in life was habit. He believed character is not built through intention, it is built through repetition. What you do daily becomes who you are. And that includes financial behavior, so I studied my habits. Not dramatically, quietly, every purchase, every decision, every impulse. Patterns emerged quickly: convenient spending, small indulgences tied to mood, time wasted in distraction rather than skill building. These habits were invisible until I examined them. Let me ask you something difficult. What financial habits are you practicing daily without realizing it? Are you training yourself for discipline? Or training yourself for dependence? Because habits build identity, and identity builds destiny. Aristotle understood something modern culture often ignores. Excellence is not comfortable. Arete requires effort. A musician practices scales. A warrior trains daily. A philosopher examines his thoughts. Financial excellence demands the same rigor. Budgeting, delayed gratification, strategic thinking. These are not glamorous practices, but they are the foundations of lasting wealth. And foundations determine legacy. Let me ask you this. When was the last time you examined your financial behavior with brutal honesty? Not excuses, not optimism, reality. Because Aristotle believed self-knowledge is the beginning of wisdom. Without self-knowledge, improvement is impossible. The fourth principle Aristotle would apply to money is moderation. He distrusted extremes. Extreme wealth can corrupt character. Extreme poverty can crush opportunity. So he argued for balance. Enough wealth to live well, but not so much obsession with wealth that life itself becomes secondary. This idea shocked me, because modern culture glorifies relentless accumulation. But Aristotle would ask, What is the cost? What relationships are sacrificed? What health is neglected? What character is compromised? Wealth without wisdom is dangerous. Tell me, what are you sacrificing right now in pursuit of financial gain? Time with family, mental peace, integrity. Aristotle believed a good life must remain balanced, because imbalance destroys harmony, and harmony is the essence of arete. The fifth principle Aristotle taught was foresight. The Greeks built for centuries, not for quarters. When they constructed temples, they designed them to outlast generations. Modern financial thinking often focuses on speed, quick profits, fast growth, immediate rewards. But Aristotle would call this impatience. True excellence requires time, compound growth, gradual mastery, strategic patience. Let me ask you something honestly. Are you building wealth that can last decades, or chasing opportunities that excite you today? Because the difference between speculation and stewardship is patience. Aristotle admired patience because patience signals control, and control creates stability. The sixth principle Aristotle would emphasize is education. He believed a person must constantly refine the mind. As knowledge expands judgment. Judgment improves decisions. Decisions shape outcomes. Financial education is not optional. It is essential. Yet many people spend years consuming entertainment while neglecting knowledge. Tell me, how many hours last week did you spend improving your financial intelligence? And how many hours did you spend consuming distraction? Your answer reveals the trajectory of your future, because knowledge compounds just like money. The seventh principle Aristotle lived by was responsibility. A good citizen contributes to society. A good leader improves the community. Wealth should not exist in isolation. It should serve something greater. Family, community, legacy. Without responsibility, wealth becomes selfish. Selfishness isolates. Isolation weakens influence. Aristotle believed the best life integrates personal excellence with social contribution. Tell me, if your wealth grows, who benefits besides you? Your answer defines the moral architecture of your financial life. The final principle Aristotle would apply to money is self-mastery. Control over emotion, control over impulse, control over ego. Because money amplifies personality. If you lack discipline, wealth magnifies chaos. If you possess discipline, wealth magnifies impact. This realization changed everything for me. Not because my income suddenly exploded, but because my relationship with money matured. Money became a tool, not an identity. Habits became intentional, not automatic. Decisions became thoughtful, not emotional. And slowly, predictably, financial stability improved. Because Aristotle was right, excellence in character produces excellence in outcomes. The Greeks did not worship wealth, they respected it. But they respected discipline more, because discipline builds wealth. Wealth rarely builds discipline. Let me ask you one final question. If Aristotle examined your life today, your spending, your habits, your priorities, would he say you are moving toward arete or drifting toward excess? Because the difference between those two paths determines the legacy you leave behind. Marcus Aurelius wrote these words centuries later, reflecting the same ancient wisdom. The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. The mountain of discipline still stands before you, and it does not care how much money you have. It only yields to those who climb.